Good morning, everyone. Welcome to an episode of Coffee Break with Card, La Hora del Cafecito's new sister show. My name is Lourdes Quiñones, and I would like to welcome you to the show. Buenos días, bienvenidos. Anyway, Coffee Break with Card is a program dedicated to all those in our community who are living with autism, to their family members, and all those who support them. So come on in, join us at the table, sign in on the comment section below, and let us know if you are drinking a cup of coffee with us. We'd love to say hello to you. In today's program, we have the pleasure of interviewing Dr. Mallory Quinn, owner of ABA Sports Innovation, Kinetic Soul Studio, and ABASI, or ABASI, as many people call it, Dance Lab, who is going to talk to us about ABA dance and how they can be used together to benefit individuals with autism. So join us. We have a lot to talk about. But before we get started, let me introduce you to our hostesses for today. And as I mentioned before, my name is Lourdes Quiñones. I am a card consultant assigned to the primary age group, and professionally, I am a pediatric physical therapist, as well as a special education teacher. I am joined by my colleagues, Jasmine Castellanos. Buenos dias, Jasmine, and welcome back.
Buenos días, Lourdes. Good morning. Thank you.
And Olivia McDonald. Buenos dias, Olivia.
Good morning, buenos dias. I'm very happy to have you back, Yasmin.
Yeah. And of course, we have Dr. Mallory Quinn with us. Buenos dias, Dr. Quinn.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
And as you know, Jasmine Castellano is an excellent professional in the field of mental health. She is a card consultant assigned to the age group from middle age to young, middle school to young adults. And she's the mother of three, one of whom is diagnosed with autism. Welcome, Jasmine.
Thank you, Lourdes.
And Olivia McDonald is an excellent professional in the field of public health. She is a card consultant assigned to the primary age group, just like me. And Olivia is the mother of a beautiful baby boy and has a younger brother diagnosed with autism. Welcome, Olivia.
Thank you, Lourdes.
My gal Dana is not able to join us this morning, but she'll be back again in our next episode. Yay! We're looking forward to having her back with Mr. Dearly. All right. Anyway, as I mentioned, before we get started, we want to review the rules we want to adhere by, just to make sure we have a safe environment for all of us. Remember to keep an open mind, use a positive attitude, and respectful language, okay? But before we get started, Olivia, do we have any members in our audience that we need to say hello?
Yes, I want to say good morning to Mark,
Good morning, Mark.
to Michael, and to the our number one fan, Philomena.
Buenos dias, Filomena, number one. We get our stamp. Anyway, so as I mentioned earlier in today's program, we have the pleasure of welcoming and interviewing Dr. Mallory Quinn, and she is the owner of ABA Sports Innovations, Kinetic Soul Studio, and ABASI Dance Lab, who is going to be talking to us about ABA dance and how they can be used together to benefit the individuals with autism. So join us. We have a lot to talk about. So welcome, Dr. Quinn. Thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'm so excited to be here.
I know, we were looking forward to having you here. So I just want to get started because we have a lot to talk about. So let me start by asking you the first question. Can you tell us a little bit about you?
Sure, yeah. So as you mentioned, my name is Dr. Mallory Quinn. I am a board certified behavior analyst, NASM certified personal trainer, 500-hour yoga instructor, bar and dance teacher, and owner of the three businesses you mentioned, Kinetic Soul West Chase, ABASI Dance Lab, or people call it ABASI Dance Lab, and ABA Sports Innovations. So I'll just briefly touch on what those businesses are. Kinetic Soul West Chase is a fitness studio. We have group fitness classes in barre, yoga, and dance for adults. And ABASI Dance Lab is a niche dance studio with classes for kids starting at age 2. We hold group classes for dance and musical theater. Our niche services, we have quite a few. They involve specialized coaching using principles from ABA to enhance skill acquisition for dance movements for competition dancers and pre-professional dancers. We also provide specialized therapy sessions, combining ABA treatment plans with dance and yoga for kids with autism and other special needs or diagnoses, including anxiety, ADHD, etc. Little bit more about my background. I am an alumni of the University of South Florida Applied Behavior Analysis Program. Yeah, super proud to be an alumni from that amazing program. I was actually the first graduate of their doctorate program in 2017.
Wow.
Thank you. Yeah. I worked with Doctors Raymond Miltenberger and Dr. Kwanson Blair in the areas of using ABA to enhance training for competition dancers, as well as conducting research for teaching dance to individuals with ASD and special needs. In 2016, I started my consulting company. That's ABA Sports Innovations. And through that company, I provide consulting, trainings, and an online self-learning academy, which also provides continuing education units, supervision, and mentorship for students in BCBAs that are looking to use ABA within the realm of health, sports, and fitness. So I teach people all over the country essentially to do what I do here in Tampa. I started working with individuals with ASD as a volunteer camp counselor when I was 14 years old. I absolutely loved it. So that started my interest in working with individuals with ASD. And once I began college at USF, I was lucky enough to, at just 18 years old, I took a behavior modification course and I absolutely loved it. And I was so passionate about it. Started working in the community again with adults with special needs. And that's when I decided I wanted to be in the field of applied behavior analysis. So I feel very fortunate that I was able to find what I was passionate about and find that field so young at just 18 years old. But again, I thank USF and the program and Dr. Miltenberger because he came in and did a presentation of that class and, met with me when I was just 18 and I was like super hooked from then on. So that's how I got it.
He's very passionate about spreading information about ABA and how ABA can be used in different ways. Yeah.
I can't believe we didn't meet when I had Therabilities Performing Arts Center. My God, we would have been so together. I know.
Yeah. No, I remember like I was 18 years old when I first met with him and I was like, I love, behavior mod. I love working with clients with autism. This is, all my performing arts experience. I want to combine it. How can I do that? And he I remember so long ago, not to age myself, but he gave me like all the steps and outlined like how I could do it. And yeah, so USF has been an amazing support system for me all throughout, and I'm super grateful for the program.
Awesome. So this is why you're here. Awesome. There we go. Perfect. Yes.
And what inspired you to provide ABA therapy to individuals with special needs through dance? And why is this approach effective for individuals with autism specifically?
Okay, yeah. So that's a really good question. I grew up as a dancer and theater performer in Tampa my entire life. So I've seen firsthand the benefits of a lifelong practice of performing arts for myself and others. I actually don't consider myself neurotypical either. I have a diagnosis of ADHD and generalized anxiety disorder. The arts have always helped me greatly emotionally throughout life with emotional regulation and a creative outlet and all those kinds of things. I think a lot of performers naturally gravitate towards the fields of psychology due to the study required to portray characters and emotions as realistic as possible on stage. So like I mentioned, I'm thankful that when I was in graduate school, I had advisors that were so open-minded and willing to explore the integration of ABA within the arts and dance training. So when I was in school, my research revolved greatly around decreasing aversive coaching, common of competition dance studios, and teaching dance instructors to use ABA within their coaching instead. So There's all kinds of long-term aversive effects of that kind of coaching, which include anxiety, body dysmorphia, disordered eating, physical injuries. That's a discussion for a whole other time. I could talk about that for hours. We
Could
do.
you kind of clarify what you mean by like aversive coaching?
Yeah, sure. So coaching that involves yelling, social humiliation, sarcasm, hypercritical focus, not a lot of specific verbal praise, those kinds of things. Um, so I provide ACT therapy as well at my studio. So that's a new wave behavior analytic intervention. And we work with dancers who struggle with anxiety and perfectionism from competition studios all over Tampa. So they come to us for that. So back to the benefits of dance for kids in general and kids with ASD. There are so many emotional benefits for kids learning dance and theater, whether or not they pursue a professional career. Some of these benefits include encouraging children to explore and express their emotions in a safe manner, develop creative problem solving, increase their focus, expand their imagination, and develop their own unique voice. These benefits generalize to the school classroom, often in many areas outside of life. Dance has many physical and motor coordination benefits, as well as teaches children resiliency in dealing with criticism and failure. So a big focus of our studio specifically for all the kids is that we work on teaching the children that dance with us a growth mindset, or the mindset that people aren't born talented, flexible, or strong, that these qualities are developed through consistent hard work and a psychologically flexible mindset. So I work really hard with even, our typically developing kids that are in group classes on the challenges of working through those feelings that show up, like this is too hard, or I can't do this, or my friend over here has a skill and I don't, that kind of thing. So we work a lot on that too. For individuals with special needs, dance benefits include a platform to develop and improve social skills, which is really important. Synchronized movements provide a shared experience and positively influence social understanding. In a group setting, music and moving in rhythm together creates a sense of community and connection. So children with autism often struggle to understand other people's feelings. And there are theories and recent research examining that dance stimulates the social elements of the brain, and that individuals with ASD feel connected with someone who shares their movement and behaviors, helping them to understand their own thoughts and feelings. For all children, dance provides an increase in self-esteem, confidence, and excellent stress relief. So as far as our ABA therapy component, ABA therapy works wonderfully with dance if dance is a reinforcing activity for the child. So again, it is child dependent. It'd have to be an activity that they enjoy. Our goal for our ASD students is always integration into our group classes. However, that is not always possible. We have quite a few of our students with autism and other special needs integrated into our group classes whenever possible. Some only do one-to-one sessions with us, and we have other students who do a hybrid model. So they do one-to-one sessions as well as group classes. For the students who are integrated into classes, they may have a registered behavior technician or RBT from our staff assist them in class. All of our teachers are trained in basic ABA strategies if they have a child with autism in their class. Our manager is an RBT with a master's in special education, and she's always available to assist students if they need to exit class due to a behavioral concern or they need a break from overstimulation or something like that.
Okay. And I know, you kind of described that it can look a little bit different as like group, one-on-one, or hybrid, but what does a typical session look like?
Yeah, so whether the child is in group classes, one-to-one sessions, or hybrid model, it really depends on where they're at their motor skills and emotional development. Even though our goal is always inclusion, we have to make decisions that are best for that child as well as the other children that are there taking classes, and we always want to make sure everything's a good fit. For a child in a group class with autism, we may have a support plan in place that we train the teacher on. So this can involve specific antecedent manipulations they can use in class, such as classroom setup, the way the instructions are delivered, providing that child brain breaks, etc. As I mentioned, we also have our manager, who's an RBT, who assists on standby for any potential issues. She's been working in the field of special education for 13 years, so she's fantastic and has a lot of experience with that. We also have a beautiful therapy room with a cool down space if needed, and all of our kids take advantage of that room, not just the kids with autism. So that's a nice option for them as well.
Reminder.
As far as assessments, we still do standard ABA functional behavior assessments. So that involves interviews, direct observation. For our one-to-one sessions, we work with children doing ABA programming with targets such as social skills, gross motor development, tolerating changes in routines and activities, etc. Basically anything that we can target within that context of the therapy room, while teaching dance, yoga, or theater, we will target it. I tell parents that the ABA we do, it's not a replacement for a child's standard ABA programming, but it's a wonderful supplement for a child who enjoys dance, yoga, or theater. I also read clients' current treatment plans or behavior intervention plans from other agencies, and I integrate those same procedures whenever possible. For kids who do not yet enjoy dance or are aggressive or engage in behaviors such as property destruction or more severe problem behaviors, our services are not the right fit, unfortunately. But for a lot of kids, it is. One way that I talk to people about what we do, kind of delineating what we do from dance therapy, is that in a dance therapy session, the therapist is using the act of dance as therapy. In our ABA and dance sessions, we conduct standard ABA programming while integrating dance as a reinforcer. So what that might look like is, like an example is I have one client who we complete social skills programming at a table for 10 minutes. And then we take a break where we integrate social skills work into a theater activity, acting out different social scenarios. So I'm still working on that social skills target, but then we do a more creative activity that gives that child a break and they get to do something theater related. We integrate the client's interests whenever possible, and the sessions are as naturalistic as possible. So the same child enjoys learning and talking about different cultures and historical figures. So we will act out historical scenarios or those characters in novel situations feeling a different way. We take breaks during the ABA programming where I might teach her a dance combination to music from different cultures. So again, integrating that interest. We also do voice warm-ups and singing on some of her breaks from ABA programming. So she's getting musical theater and dance training from a performing arts professional while also completing ABA programming in her session. This is just one example. All of our sessions are extraordinarily different and unique to each client's needs and programming. So just like we learn in ABA, like every assessment and treatment plan is unique, same here. I have one client who is an adult male who comes to us for exercise programming. So we exercise and collect data within a treatment plan for him to increase his reps for each activity, because that's his goal. For some of our younger students with autism, our fitness trampolines are a great sensory activity. So we might have some breaks within ABA programming where we'll jump on trampolines and do some dance choreography that way. We have another client who loves yoga and has anxiety. So on her breaks in programming, where we work on an ABA curriculum at a table, we might do some yoga stretching with mindful breathing and meditation. So truly the sky is the limit. It's all dependent on the child and their interests and what programming they are working on, perhaps in another ABA agency or some areas that are skill deficits or skills they need to learn, that kind of thing.
Okay, and just to kind of clarify, because I know, you've been talking a lot about the children, but then you mentioned the adult, having an adult client. So is it something where like teens or adults with autism could also
Absolutely.
reach out? Okay.
Yeah, we have quite a few teens and adults. And I even see some dance moms for ACT therapy too. So, yeah.
So I'm a big fan, obviously, which is why we reached out to you. The minute I found out that you were open, I always want our audience to know about services like this, because my area of interest is the arts. Obviously, is my research area of interest as well. And obviously, I used to own a place like this, and And so, yes, bravo, 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 bravo. And I hope
Thank
our audience takes advantage of your services and reach out. And you're so close by, right here in the Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Yes, right there in the West Chase area. But anyway, we'll get more information about that in a little bit. Let me not get ahead of ourselves. But my question to you is, I know our audience is going to be curious about payment and all this stuff. So do you accept insurance is my question.
Yeah. So we are a small business. That,
Oh my God, sorry.
no worries. All right. So we're a small business. It's currently just me and my manager doing scheduling and running that ASD program. So unfortunately, we don't have the resources at this time to bill insurance or hire a dedicated insurance person at this time. However, we do accept the Family Empowerment Scholarship, formerly the Gardner Scholarship. We are also a direct provider under their scholarship program. And we're also happy to give clients a super bill once a month that they can use to invoice their insurance directly. So many of my clients have received reimbursement from their insurance companies by submitting a super bill that I've provided them. So that's the extent of accepting insurance at this time.
So I'm so glad that I asked you that question, and you mentioned the Gardner, and you also mentioned that you service children as young as 2 years old. So which brings me then to the idea of the VPK SIS. When I owned my clinic, Therapeutics Performing Arts Center, I know that I applied to become a provider for VPK SIS. Are you familiar with that?
No.
No. Okay, so I'd like to share that information for you and also for our audience so they become aware of this type of service, and perhaps we are going to do a follow-up program in the future where we discuss it, because I would like for families to be aware of this service. And so basically what it is, the VPK SIS, is, as you know, VPK is available for all children under 5 who would have to go to VPK, get prepared. But unfortunately, a lot of the centers are not prepared to service children with autism, for example, because they don't have the skills and the personnel to be able to give them the services that they need, right? So what we hear all the time is the parents is like, I can't find a place where that will take a daycare that will take them. So they have to keep them at home or something like that. So these monies are available to the families, but they're not being used. So they created the VPK SIS. So I'm going to share the screen. Let me see if I have sharing. Host needs to, so I need you to give me sharing ability. Anyway, so they created this service for parents.
Go ahead, Lourdes. I think you should be able to now.
Okay, perfect. So that families are able to access these monies. Okay, tell me when you're ready. You're able to see it.
We can see it.
Okay, perfect. All righty. So let's go through this. So it's called the Florida VPK SIS. So I'm going to go through this form. So to be eligible, the families have to, first of all, the child has to have an individual education plan. They have to live in Florida. They have to turn 4 years old before September 1st on the program year. That means that they were born between February 2nd and September 1st. They may choose to postpone when they go to VPK, but as long as they are not going to be admitted to kindergarten, right? And they must not be participating in the Gardner scholarship. So this is for someone who's not using the Gardner. All right. It says in this form right here where to apply. So it's through the Florida Early Learning Program. Okay, so it's right through there. They're going to have to upload the proof of residency in the state of Florida, the age of the child, so it's a birth certificate, I'm assuming, and the child's IEP, and then the VPK applications. Once they received all this information, they will fill out the supplemental. It's a form, specific form, and they will submit it to the Early Learning Coalition, and they can apply for that.
Yeah, and I can we can share the link to this particular PDF because I know there's lots of great information on here.
Yeah. But what I want to let people know, and also providers, is that the providers must apply to become a provider. And who are the providers? This can be occupational license, like right here, speech, ABA providers, speech therapist, occupational therapist, and physical therapist. Can be also music therapist, art therapist, and all that. I know that because when I had TPAC, I had my music therapist become providers. So if you know that your ABA, and I'm talking to the audience right now, it's already providing a service like a summer camp or something like that, these monies can be used towards that, but they have to become a provider. Mm-hmm. It just because they provide the service doesn't mean you can use the monies for that. So please have your ABA therapist apply for this, or your music therapist or your speech therapist apply for this, and then you can and you apply for this as well for your child, and then they go ahead and let you have that. Once you are approved and the provider is approved, you choose from that list of providers that are approved. You can access those monies, you sign up for those, and then there's a window, a period of time that the monies are accessible to be used. But it's a beautiful way of being able to access your type of service, for example.
That is amazing.
Yes, I know.
Thank you so much for sharing that with me.
You're welcome. Yeah, I know, because it's hard for families to be able to access this type of service that you provide. That is so beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, that's great. That'll remove a barrier for some people.
So anyway, Jasmine?
Yes, I have another question. Is there anything else that you would like to share with our audience?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much I could talk about regarding our studio staff and services. For anyone who's interested, I would encourage them to call and schedule a studio tour. I'll leave the information at the end with our phone number and our website. We could talk about their child's specific needs and if our studio would be a good fit for them and their child. I guess other things I'd like to mention is all of our staff are former professional performers and or have BFAs in theater or dance. So just to let the audience know that your child will still receive fantastic dance and theater education, even though this is an ABA setting. All of our yoga teachers are minimally 200-hour certified through Yoga Alliance. Our studio actually has a really fantastic yoga teacher training program. So we train a lot of yoga teachers in Tampa, in the country. There's definitely a need for more inclusivity in all of these settings. However, especially in dance training, post-COVID, many more children, even those not diagnosed with autism, have been needing assistance with developing appropriate social skills and additional mental health supports, which our setting offers. We've seen an increase in this need, especially for children ages 6 to 12, even though we've seen it for all ages. So post-COVID, that's definitely been a huge need that we've seen in the community. Our specialized curriculums, which incorporate acceptance and commitment training, or ACT, are great for children ages 6 and up with or without diagnoses. Our group classes have an open door viewing policy as well. So we always welcome parents to come in and watch our classes. So if you're thinking about joining our studio, like, you're welcome to come in and take a tour and watch the classes and just see if it's a good fit. I also want to emphasize how student and parent focused we are, as well as interdisciplinary and open-minded. So that's feedback that we get a lot from the community and parents. We will continue to utilize those scientific principles and curriculums of ABA in a way that can allow students to be more expressive, autonomous, and creative. when I first started this business, it was a little bit taboo. I felt like to be practicing ABA within this new kind of area. I think now, almost 10 years later, that has definitely changed and is changing. And this is the way that these services are starting to go. I think more and more families are seeking the same amazing scientific approach of ABA, but they want it in a way that's more naturalistic and child led. So I'm really passionate about like our facility providing that. Um, and last thing I'd want to mention is just that I train practitioners to perform these services all over the country. And many people don't know that this training is available right here in Tampa. So like Lourdes said, we are right outside of West Chase in the Citrus Park area. So we're close to USF, we're close to downtown, close to Carrollwood, West Chase, all of those areas. So just like telling people that this service is here and it's available and to take advantage. So if you want to check us out, our website is abasidancelab.com. We're also on Facebook, we're on Instagram. We post a ton of awesome like stories on Instagram, of course, with client and parent approval. But we have a lot of great stories that you can see what our studio classes look like, what our kids are working on. Our phone number is 813-851-0011. I would highly encourage a text. So send us a text to set up a phone call or a tour so that we can really have that in-depth conversation with you about the needs of your child and what you're looking for. And then again, just follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And if you're a parent that's interested in yoga or some self-care, our studio is Kinetic Soul West Chase on Facebook and Instagram. And our website is kineticsoulstudio.com.
And I'll make sure that all that contact information is also written down for anyone.
Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. This is so beautiful. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. So, oh my God, and we're so lucky to have your services in town. This is obviously close to my heart, and so I encourage everyone to please access this. And like you said, very naturalistic. It is, and it's obviously in your heart. It's your passion, and what a beautiful passion that is, and nothing better when the provider is passionate about what they do and actually practices what they preach. Nothing better than that. Okay, so and you train other professionals, so yeah, so we're getting it from the mouth of the instructor, right?
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, so wonderful, beautiful. So we're so proud to have you here. So thank you for accepting our invitation to be on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So anyway, we're almost at the end of the show, but we did not want to leave without, first of all, thanking you, Dr. Quinn, for being here, being our guest on the show and bringing all this valuable information, obviously for Olivia for bringing us this wonderful and reaching out to you and bringing us this information, the show. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And also, before we go, we wanted to ask you a favor, audience. And that is that go in the link that we're going to leave you down here. This is how we can justify the time that it takes us to put together this type of information and bring you this quality programming. Let us know how we're doing. If this type of information is important to you, go ahead. Even if you've done it before, we still need you to go ahead and give us a grade. How are we doing? It just takes a few seconds. I think it's about 6 questions. Just go in, click, 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 and give us that. So we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And obviously, if you have any questions, any comments, go ahead and leave them on the comments below. We'll be sure to make your comments and questions reach Dr. Quinn to answer your questions. If we cannot answer them ourselves, obviously, we're leaving you all the links, all the information we posted today and talked about today on the comments below, okay? We also wanted to let you know that we're coming to you every other week, so we'll be back here in 2 weeks. By that time, our friend and dear colleague, Maggie, should be with us, so we're looking forward to that. So, but until then, we want to make sure that we ask you to please give us a like, Share this video with those that you know can benefit from this. And be sure to meet us here every other Friday at 10:05-ish a.m. so that we can share a cup of coffee as we spill the beans on topics that are important about autism. But until then, we wish you good vibes and hot coffee. See you next time. Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.